Coming up tonight, we'll be looking back at all the action from UFC 171 and the crowning of a new welterweight world champion. Later on the show, we'll be looking ahead to UFC Fight Night, Shogun versus Henderson 2 in Brazil. The first bout was lauded by many as 2011's Fight of the Year. We catch up with heavyweight Travis Brown ahead of his next fight against Fabrizio Verdum in April. James Haskell catches up with Brad Pickett to discuss his future in the flyweight division. All that in the next hour. Hello, welcome to the show. Joining myself and Gareth tonight, UFC welterweight and commentator Dan Hardy. Dan, welcome back to the show.
Good to be back.
So much to talk about tonight. But before that, following on from your ideas last week when we gave you carte blanche to be UFC president for the day, tonight we're looking for you to tweet in your dream tag team battles. 4 fighters, 2 against 2. For me, Diaz brothers taking on one man, Diego Sanchez. Who do you want to see? Details on the screen right now. We'll read out the best at the end of the show. GSP's departure from the sport last December blew the welterweight division wide open. Last weekend, UFC 171 marked the beginning of a new era in the 170-pound weight class. For the first time in just under 6 years, a new, undisputed welterweight champion would be named.
The American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas played host to the most anticipated event of the year last Saturday. In a fight card loaded with star power, Carlos Condit and Tyron Woodley clashed in the co-main event. But it was Johnny Hendricks and Robbie Lawler who faced off for the right to be named the new UFC welterweight champion. Before the main event, however, we were treated to several high-profile contests, including a welterweight bout between grappling wizard Jake Shields and judo black belt Hector Lightning Lombard. Lombard's power had Shields in big trouble throughout the first round.
And tags him again. I mean, he's hitting him with some hard shots here, Mike. Now Lombard's unloading on him. Oh, big nice shot. Kick. That hurt. That did hurt. He's in big trouble here. He's in real big trouble. Looking to finish the fight.
But Shields held on to weather the storm. Lightning struck again in round 2, this time adding his Olympic-level judo to the mix.
Oh, that's outstanding. Ragdoll. They tie up with 45. Beautiful judo. There's that judo.
After being dominated for much of the contest, it was clear Shields needed something special to win the fight. And his chance came late in the third.
He's going for a guillotine. He's got an arm in. He's got an arm in. He's got 10 seconds. Can he finish his fight? Can he pull off the victory? Jake Shields looking for the submission. Oh, that is pretty tight. It looks like Hector's head is about to pop out, though. Wow.
A pivotal win for the Cuban, who moves up to number 6 in the rankings. The 36-year-old is now 2-0 following his drop to welterweight and is placed firmly in the title picture. Next up was a lightweight matchup between UFC veteran Diego the Dream Sanchez and unbeaten rising star Miles Fury Jury. Jury's game plan was clear from the start, as he waited patiently to counter against his aggressive opponent.
Oh, Miles caught him with a nice right hand there, stunned him a bit.
The Dream looked to connect early in the second round, but Fury would again find a home for the counter. The Michigan native found more and more openings as the round went on.
Tagged him with a beautiful right hand there, and then a takedown as well. Nicely mixing it up.
Down 2 rounds, Sanchez was now desperate for a finish. But again, Jury capitalized with his superior wrestling late in the round. This was an important win for the 25-year-old, the highlight of his young career so far. Jury, now 5-0 in the UFC, will surely be facing even tougher challenges this year. It was now time for the welterweight co-main event, as former UFC interim champion Carlos Condit faced off against the dangerous Tyron Woodley. Woodley was keen to showcase his power from the start, giving Condit plenty to think about. The natural-born killer showed a great chin and came back with strikes of his own, but Woodley countered with his superior wrestling.
Nice takedown by Woodley.
In round 2, the high-level wrestler once again used his grappling advantage to take the former champion down.
Uh-oh, something happened. Yeah. Condit, he winced like he's in pain.
Noticing Condit was hurt, Woodley capitalized immediately.
knee. It's his knee. And it is all over. Oh, man.
Despite a disappointing ending to the fight, Woodley looked dominant against his high-level opponent. The win moves him up to number 4 in the division, and will he now become the chosen one for the next title shot? The headliners finally took centre stage as knockout artist Johnny Big Rig Hendricks and ruthless Robbie Lawler went head-to-head for the vacant welterweight crown. Hendricks was keen to showcase a new side to his game throughout the first round.
Adding weapons to his arsenal. Continuing to ball. There's a good left hand. Right. Oh, another kick. Still. And now looking for the takedown.
Lawler closed the distance in the second, but Hendricks again put his ever-evolving stand-up game to good use.
I like the way he's mixing things up, Mike. And there's that leg kick again.
It was toe-to-toe, with neither contender relenting until the buzzer sounded.
Beautiful left hand.
The third round came, and Lawler landed a game-changer.
There's a nice left shot that landed. That might have hurt him. Yep. Oh, he's hurt. Lawler hurt him. Continuing to pull. Oh, he's hurt bad. He's hurt bad.
The adopted Texan showed his spirit by not only surviving the attack, but also coming back with some shots of his own. Then came the championship rounds, and it was Lawler who again took the initiative.
Johnny may be in trouble again. Johnny needs to move.
There was non-stop action, and neither fighter showed signs of slowing down.
Look at this! Hendricks coming back! And Robbie's smiling at him.
With the contest appearing all square going into the fifth, there was still everything to fight for. But it was Hendricks who went all out.
That's a left hand that hurt!
And again, Robbie slowed down tremendously. Hendricks wants the takedown, and he's got it!
With a combined 308 significant strikes landed, it was a contest well deserving of its Fight of the Night award. But it was now time to unveil GSP's successor.
Johnny! Big Rig!
The Big Rig, the new, undisputed welterweight champion.
What an amazing fight. Instant classic. How much did you love that fight, Dan?
Oh, I've got to watch it at least 2 more times. Got to. It was amazing. And it's set up straight away for a rematch. This could turn into a real cool trilogy. Not that I'd wish those punches on the guys, because that was a lot of significant strikes, but I'd watch it for sure.
How did you feel watching it? Now, obviously, you're a commentator, but you're still a fighter at heart.
Yeah.
Did you think, I'd love to be fighting the winner?
I'll be honest, I did, yeah. There was a huge part of me, particularly, towards into the championship rounds. I started to think to myself, with the shape I'm in now, that would be where I'd come into my own. I would love to be in the mix.
G-Man, what did you take on that then? I mean,
well, just
the right winner?
Just the perfect kind of fight for Dan, exactly what I was thinking. Yeah. Look, I thought it was a tremendous fight. It took me back to John Jones and Alex Gustafsson last year. It was an epic battle. Again, I could watch this fight again and again and again, and you see different things every time. I thought Lawler really made this fight.
Yeah.
I loved the way he stepped in close to Johnny Hendricks. He took a battering in the second round to close the distance, slow the fight down, quite deliberately, it must have been deliberate, to stay in close in the pocket, and then he capitalised rounds 3 and 4, nearly got Johnny Hendricks out of there. And Hendricks had learnt from that GSP fight that you have to give it all in that fifth round, where he'd lost the GSP fight on the judges' cards. And that it was just brilliant. It was a brilliant thing to witness. Both men, I mean, it's a fight of the year, there's no question about it.
OK, and it's only March.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at some of the combinations then that Johnny was putting together in rounds 1 and 2.
Yeah, I'd love to see him using the low kicks a bit more. That's a huge string to his bow. And the knees as well.
And the knee as well.
Yeah.
He's really mixing it up more than we've seen him before.
Yeah.
Do you think he made a conscious decision not to try and constantly go for the takedown?
Yeah, I mean, he did cut a lot of weight for this one, and he did look like he slowed down towards the end of the fight. So maybe, I mean, it's so taxing to, to keep constantly shooting.
Yeah.
And with a guy that's as scrappy as Robbie Lawler, it could potentially wear himself out in 2 rounds, going for the takedown over and over.
Be honest, who were you hoping was going to win at the end?
I was kind of pulling for Robbie Lawler just because most people have counted him out. Although, Hendricks won, and I think that was the right thing on the night. Obviously, he won the fight, but I'd just like to see Robbie Lawler upset a few people and pull it off. He's been around for so long and he's invested so much in the sport. And it was nice to see him just get a title shot, but I think we need to see a rematch. I don't think it was as
Love
clean.
to see a rematch.
Yeah, got to.
G-Man, was it all about the 5th round?
It was. We're seeing it here.
Yeah.
That you know, Lawler fought really smart. Hendricks fought really smart in the 5th round. He saw the exhaustion levels overtake Robbie Lawler. He hit him with those left hands. When Lawler falls against the octagon wall, instead of trying to finish him, he thinks smart and he goes takedown. And you can see Lawler sitting there like a soldier in a trench with a minute to go thinking, I'm just not going to be able to get up here. And he's looked up at the clock.
Yeah.
And Hendricks knows he's got the fight.
Yeah.
And I think Lawler knows he's won at that point. Because for me, it was very clear that Hendricks won the first 2, Lawler won 3 and 4, and it was all to decide.
Let's have a look at these scorecards.
But, yes.
Gareth, you found these. Doug Crosby, what fight is he watching?
Yeah, that's terrible.
It's extraordinary. You know, they're highlighted there, the last card.
But that's
in
nuts.
yellow. How, Dan, can someone score the second round of 10-8? Of course, there were moments when Hendricks was Jose Aldo-esque in that second round with his striking and his combinations. But how can you score a 10-8?
No, you can't. That, for me, is proof that guy shouldn't be judging it, particularly not at this level when there's so much on the line. I mean, he's deciding world champions. And, you know, we just never know when we're going to get 2 judges like that can really screw things up for the whole division.
And what about the 5th round, 10-10 as well?
That makes no sense at all. I mean, you know, it was a great round and it was close, but...
It's not 10-10.
But no, for me, Hendricks landed a good, clean punch that hurt Robbie, put a couple of good knees together and got the takedown. That seals the round for me.
OK, let's have a look at the fight stats. It was a dream fight for that. I think some records were set as well at the weekend, too.
There were, yeah, well, you can see there, 308 significant strikes landed, 158 by Hendricks, 150 by Lawler. You know, it's not the most ever in a title fight. The interim... it is the most. The second most ever in a title fight was Nick Diaz and Carlos Condit, 256. And, of course,
All
that
welterweights,
Jones...
yeah.
Well, yeah, exactly.